fish are dying, and I'm wondering why they are dying. So we're going to be looking into the 10 top hits that we reckon and possibilities of your fish dying. So stay tuned and we'll start going through it. Plus we're going to have also our tip of the week for you. So stay tuned, as we said, and we'll get back. Hi everyone, it's Andrew here from Bluefin Aquatics. So today we're going to be delving quite deep into regards to why are my fish dying, and our 10 possibilities that may make a difference and may help you to also look at the causes of some of your fish and look at some of the things they are doing in regards to before they're dying or seem like they're out of sorts. So first thing we're going to talk about is the water quality, which we've spoken to in previous videos in regards to water quality, in regards to your ammonia, in regards to your nitrates and nitrites. So there's another area that you need to be looking at as well. Also in this area as well, when you look at those sort of things, when the water quality is not right, we sort of look at diseases, whether they've been brought in or the actual disease has actually formulated in the tank itself. So that's another area to also look in, and just look how your fish used to be before you got them and look at the poor quality that they're at now, so they are suffering from some sort of ailment. So also we're looking at number 3, we're looking at also a chemical spike, whether it be a pH, whether it be like a crash in the actual chemical setup in the tank regards to your GH and KH. So that's another area to also look at. And the important thing here is also do a bit of investigation in regards to the fish and regards to the parameters that they actually like to live in. Because if you don't do the right and have the right parameters, they're going to fail somewhere along the line, and they're certainly going to let you know why they are dying. So before going out getting any of fish, do a bit of investigation and find out what they actually are like, or what the temperament's like, or what the water temperature is, what they like. So all these things are important, so you can not so much replicate where they came from, but close to it. And obviously the fish that we get these days are all being bred in-house, so they're not actually coming straight from the wild, so they can tolerate quite a bit. But some fish are just very delicate that you need to teach you, such as your discus, which are quite a delicate fish to breed, but we'll talk about in a further video anyway. Also, what we look at is foreign particles and so forth. Now, this is not said very often, but we have also heard it, and also we've made that mistake ourselves where we've used aerosols or sprays around, and the actual residue from that actually sits on the water and creates like a bit of a skin on the top of the water. So the fish will basically, if they come up to eat, they'll ingest that, and again, that'll cause some sort of disruption to their digestive system, and ultimately it can kill them. The other one we're looking at too is number 5. We talk about looking at within the water, within what's in the water itself, what makes up the water, as in, is there anything down below? Is there any debris below? Is there any sort of carcasses that have been left below, or you haven't cleaned it thoroughly, which again, we're talking about quality of water, because that's basically where your ammonia starts from, that, from decaying fish. But also the very important thing is that you keep up your water routine and so forth. And another big one too that we look at, especially this time of year, is where the Water Authority, they boost up their chlorine deposits into the water. Sometimes you can smell it when you actually go to your tap and release the water from there. So that's another thing you've got to be looking at too. And as I said, in the weather, when it comes to summer, and we use the RO water as well, which doesn't exactly get rid of all the chemicals, but it does get rid of the harshness and basically strips the water to basically to bare with no minerals basically at all. So then you're going to have to start adding some minerals in yourself. The other thing is too, we've looked at and we spoke about before too, is regards to feeding, not to overfeed your fish, because although they like to keep coming up and want more food, we sort of look at with our fish, we feed them usually once a day, and with the obviously the young ones, the fry and that, they usually get to 3 to 4 times a day. But to coincide with that, that's also more water changes that you need to do. So the water's got to be at its best for your fish. So that's another way of looking at things. And also too, oxygen is another one, especially if your fish are at the top that are gasping for air. Now when they're gasping for air, obviously in the water there's not enough oxygen and not enough movement in the top of the water to actually keep it going and keeping the oxygen and keeping the water turning over to oxygenate the water. So this is a very important one. As you know, your fish breathe through their gills, and the gills are the main function for them to actually breathe underwater. So water quality again is very, very important. And also we look at too, in regards to your fish, if they're dying, look at the compatibility of your fish, what sort of fish you have in there. Sort of like you wouldn't have your discus or your angelfish sitting with some African cichlids or some American cichlids as well. So you work out and compatibility and how you want to set your tank up, but do your homework like we said before in regards to having your fish in the tank. It's so important that they are compatible, otherwise you're going to get fin nipping, you're going to find out the fish is going to get stressed out, it's going to be hiding, it may even turn black, and maybe sometimes you don't even see the fish and therefore sets off that nitrogen cycle through the tank. So that's something you've got to think about as well. And the other thing is too, is always maintain and check your water levels as well to make sure that everything sits in line with what you're actually doing. Make sure everything balances out. And again, like we said, do your homework on your fish, find out about your fish, find out the background, and also how they actually situate in regards to their pH, how they like the GH, KH, all these things. But as I said, with the breeding captivity, so they're pretty tolerant, but doesn't hurt to really look at that. Okay, so they're basically the 10 possibilities that we look at. We narrow down to our fish being sick and not looking their best. So for our tip for the week is that to induce breeding, like we do here, is to do a very large water change with basically cold water. We use the rainwater, but we bring it up to around about 2022, and then we fill the tank with that. And that generally induces breeding, especially for your discus and also for your angelfish. That generally changes the water dynamics, and they think that, you know, that seasons of rains are coming, so we better start laying and so forth. So that's our tip of the week in regards to trying to induce breeding. So with that tip and many more that are on their way, we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, if you wish to subscribe, please do. Thank you again.